Hi, today we're gonna read the book Wonderfully Made by Esther Leung-Kong. I'm Eli, I'm a librarian, and this is my daughter, Lai Zili.
我都没有那个在这里的英文的名字。
如果等这里后，
好啊。
As a little girl, my grandmother once asked me, "If you choose your hair and eye color, what would it be?" Naturally, I said, "Blonde and blue eyes," because that's how the dolls I play with look like. I was 9 years old when my family decided to leave Hong Kong. So we packed all our belongings, boarded the airplane, and said goodbye to my birthplace and home for years. I actually caught chickenpox earlier that week, but that did not stop us from immigrating to a place called Canada. That's all.
你是讲这个还是这个？
英文。
哦，为什么你不要讲这个的？
我已經讀過啦，我卡讀過啦。
好吧。
就邊方面。On the plane, I felt like everyone was staring at my face because of the blemishes from the chickenpox. After a 13-hour flight, we finally arrived in Vancouver. But the welcome I received was a girl pointing at my face saying, "Ew, that's gross." Embarrassed and tired, I was just ready to hide.
他说他要快下去躲起来。他躲起来应该是去躲起来，不是站在那边啊。
Inside my empty room in our new home, I cried quietly, thinking about everyone I had left in Hong Kong, including my school friends, my 2 pet turtles, my relatives, and my dear grandparents.
可怜。
On the first day of school, even though I already knew some English, I was still nervous, meeting my new classmates and teacher. Thankfully, I met a kind Malaysian Chinese girl who was born in Canada. She showed me around the school, even spoke some Chinese to me. That was comforting for me, and eventually we became good friends. I quickly began to learn more English, adjusting to the new culture and trying to fit in. But sometimes my classmates would make fun of my lunch because it looked and smelled different from their lunch. In those moments, I thought to myself, why can't I just have a sandwich and juice pop like everyone else?
它是有这个，还有这个，没有其他的。还有面面，还有这个，还有这两个，我去看没有。别人是有这个，还有这个，还有这个，还有这个，还有这个，还有这个，全部都有，对它全部都有。这个是个。
I had a hard time adjusting to my new piano teacher because she taught in English and I had to relearn all the musical terms. Also, she seemed scary to me because she did not smile much. At least her cat was cute and I enjoyed playing with it.
像我一样。
In the school band, I began learning how to play the Western flute. But on the weekends, my parents also made me take Chinese flute lessons. There were times where I almost fainted from practicing both kinds of flutes.
你在笑什么啊？
他在搬出地，是个搬出地，搬緊阿尾好呢。
我也是，锵。
跌倒。One Halloween, my brother and I dressed up as ancient Chinese warriors, and we even carried fake swords for trick-or-treating. When my neighbors saw us, they said, "Wow, those are really nice costumes." Since I am Chinese, will this even be considered dressing up?
不是这个，是这两个。比错念空气。
A few years later, at school during recess, out of nowhere, two girls shouted at me, "Hey, Ting!" Shocked and confused, I just froze and didn't know how to respond. Why would they treat me like this? I didn't do anything to them at all.
Tink 就是啾，就是我的裙子很滑，我刚刚这样子我就滑了。
As I grew up, sometimes I wished that I could just fit in better. My family insisted that I not lose my Chinese language and culture. But why? I don't need it here. One summer, when I was in university, I volunteered at a church where I led a small choir. There, I met two First Nations grandmothers from the Blackfoot Nation. I was surprised that they already knew the song I was teaching them. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. The grandmothers had learned this song while they attended the Indian residential schools as children. They opened up and shared with me about the painful history of abuse that happened to them as kids. I was really shocked to learn that when they spoke in their own language or practiced their cultural ways, they would be punished.
这个是什么？手链吗？
You see, Tamil hair braids, residential school of Gakai.
应该是这个，不是这个吧？
两个都一样。
啊，为什么一个是短的，一个是长的？
啊，为头毛较长，为头毛较短啊。
为什么只有看到它而已？
我刚会看到啊，
你给他看看，那一个人应该会。
好可怜。Later on, when we sang songs and created music together, one of the grandmothers, still her daughters, joined in by playing her traditional hand drum. I was amazed at her drumming and how joyful she was while playing it, even though they went through so much. They were resilient and very proud of their own cultural roots. I began to wonder, how come I don't feel the same way about my own culture? A few summers later, I had the chance to teach English to students in rural China, the homeland of my ancestors. I thought to myself, maybe the students would prefer someone who had blonde hair and blue eyes from North America to teach them. So I dyed my hair light brown and got some light color contacts for my eyes.
这个还有这个还有这个还有这个还有这个还有这个是什么？
你头毛的，你有白色的，啊，这挂黄色眼镜的。
这个我知道，这个嘞，吃的东西。
我唔知是布啊是怎种。迄换通去买染头毛的。
就是这个嘞。
迄个一个 brush，染头毛。迄抹面的是抹割头毛的是K啊。
K啊，空空的。这个本来是装这个。我从那边我看到它比。
To my surprise, The students became very close to me and treated me like a big sister because I knew the Chinese language and culture. They even took me to try some of the local street food. I was both amazed and a little scared when they invited me to try some spicy rabbit meat hot pot. As we say goodbye, we shed many tears.
Aww.
When I read the farewell letters to my students who wrote to me in Chinese, I was so thankful that I could understand them. In this moment, I realized how precious it was to know my culture and language. How foolish of me to reject my own culture, trying to be someone else. Embracing my culture helps me know how special I am. And who I am is wonderfully made. The end. That's all.
为什么这个好像是破破的呢？
这是一啊，
嗯，
一啊，
我
会讲。
知道那个这个呢。
有的是那个泡泡嘛。
我给大家看这个，我要念这个。